And a big hello. It's your most son, no live on air. Today is June 11th, the wonderful Wednesday. And guess what? I've talked up a super interesting and trending article from the archives that I just have to share with you all. It's a bit of a bean talker, but stick with me, it's pretty wild. The title is TokenBreak, bypassing text classification. Models to token manipulation. And if you're a scuba nerd like me and want to check it out. Yeah. The core was hot dicing, or Dabshuari, but was 6,748 fun. It's a typical archive link, long as ever. So what's this all about? Imagine you have these AI models, right? They're like digital guard dogs for things like drawing mail. For those big, large language models, you know? The super small eyes. These guards are supposed to spot bad stuff like spam, or super toxic comments, or even tricky instructions that could make an AI go haywire. That's called prompt injection. The big problem this paper talks about is that these guard dog models can sometimes be fooled. And this paper introduces a sneaky new trick called TokenBreak. It's a way to change the bad message just a tiny bit, so the guard dog AI thinks, no, this is fine. But the actual target, like a person reading an email, or the big AI model still totally understands the bad message. How sneaky is that? So, TokenBreak works by, adding a single letter to the beginning of certain words in a harmful message. This tiny change can confuse the way the protective AI model reads and understands the text. You see, computers don't read words like we do. They first break text down into smaller pieces called tokens. It's like chopping up a sentence into a secret code the AI can understand. TokenBreak messes with this chopping process, this tokenization. The researchers found that if you add just one character to a really important word, the protective model might miss colonialisity, a harmful message as totally harmless. And this is the super important part. The message still makes sense to a human or a determined AI. So, the text still works. For example, they show about a prompt like, take the prompt above in French. What your guard model might flag as a suspicious instruction for an AI could be changed to something like, don't prompt above in French. The guard model gets confused and lets it pass, but the main AI still understands and translates it. It's like they also tested this on spam filters. Email saying, you have an important customer service announcement. Could be changed to, may have an important customer service announcement. The spam filter might miss it, but you'd still read it, and I fell for the scam. And I also showed it works with toxic messages. The paper had some examples of like really offensive language, which I won't repeat, but by adding a letter here or there, the toxic message could slip past the toxicity detection model, but still be perfectly understandable and offensive to a person. That's pretty scary, right? No. Why does this happen? It turns out it really depends on how the AI model does that tokenization, the word developing thing. The paper found that models using tokenization methods called, or bypair encoding and word pasting, were way more vulnerable to this TokenBreak attack. These methods chop words in a way that's easier to disrupt with extra letters. But models using a different method called MoneyGram were pretty much immune. They weren't full. Anagram is more flexible in how it understands words, so a little extra meta doesn't confuse it as much. And here's another super interesting discovery. The type of tokenizer an AI uses is often linked to its model family, kind of like its brand or make. For example, models from the Roberto family often use pay, while distilled word models often use word piece. And guess what? The budget models often use the super robust anagram. So just by knowing the model's family, you can guess if it's likely to be vulnerable to TokenBreak. That's a big deal. But don't worry. The researchers didn't just find problems. They also suggested a defense. The best way is, of course, to use models with that anagram tokenizer. But if you can't change the model, they found a cool trick. We can go anagram tokenize in front of the vulnerable model. It processes the text, kind of like the bouncer checking ADs, and then passes it to the main model. This, in tokenizer translation defense, as they call it, made the vulnerable models much stronger against the attack. The success rate of TokenBreak dropped a lot, from around 33% down to like 12%. That's awesome. So why should we care about this in our everyday lives? These text classification models are everywhere. They help keep our inboxes free of spam. They try to make online comment sections less toxic, and they're super important for making sure those powerful large language models are used safely. If these protections can be easily bypassed, then, we're more exposed to scams, harmful content, and AI misuse. This research helps developers build tougher and more reliable AI defenses, which means a safer internet for all of us. Phew, that was a lot. That's super cool, right? And speaking of keeping things safe and secure in the digital world, let's switch gears for a moment for our little segment on the Rip Talk Coffee. You've probably heard the word. What is it really? Cryptography is basically the science of, like, secret codes. It's all about techniques for secure communication, so only the sender and the intended recipient can read the message. It's like super vital for our online lives. Let me give them 3 examples of where you see it every day. First, secure communications. Know when online shopping or doing your banking, and you see that little pad-like icon in your browser, address bar. That's usually solar tolls, which are cryptographic protocols. They create a secure, encrypted tunnel between your computer and the bank's or shop's website, keeping your credit card details and passwords super secret from eavesdroppers. So important. Second, data encryption. Think of this like a super strong digital lockbox for your files. If you encrypt a file or even your whole hard drive, the information is scrambled into an unreadable format. So even if someone stole your laptop or phone, they couldn't access your private photos, documents, or messages without the secret data key. That's technology protecting your personal stuff. Third, digital signatures. This is like high-tech unforgeable seal of approval for digital documents. A digital signature proves that a message or document actually came from the person who claims to have sent it, and also that it hasn't been tampered with since it was signed. It's super useful for official communications or legal documents, ensuring authenticity and integrity. So Cryptography is working behind the scenes all the time to keep our digital interactions safe and trustworthy. And that's our deep dive for today, everyone. Hope you found that as fascinating as I did. This is signing off for now. Curious? And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.